60 Minutes Overtime.
Our story this week is about a young Texan named Reality Winner. She was charged with espionage a few years ago for leaking a top-secret government document to the news media. She told us that she felt like she was a whistleblower who was exposing wrongdoing. She received the longest sentence ever imposed against someone for leaking information to the media, at least in the civilian side of things. And she was recently released from prison, which gave us the opportunity to sit down and hear her side of the story.
When you heard the very first time the word espionage, what did you think?
When I heard the charge, I thought, okay, well, there's still a legal defense against this. Usually in espionage, there's country A and country B, and someone is giving something of country A's to country B. So I thought, well, we still have a chance.
This is 2017, during the investigation into whether Russia interfered with the U.S. election in 2016. In 2017, the president was saying, well, we don't know who did that. Maybe it was China, maybe it was Russia, maybe it was somebody else. But the National Security Agency did know. It had put together a top-secret report that showed that Russian military intelligence had started a campaign to hack into U.S. voter registration rolls. So Reality Winner saw this in the course of the work that she was doing at the NSA and realized that they knew the truth, but the White House wasn't telling the truth.
You felt that the public was being lied to and you were one of the only ones who knew what the truth was?
The public was being lied to.
And because of your position, you could see that?
Yes.
You understood that the document was classified top secret?
I did. I understood.
Reality Winner was prosecuted under the Espionage Act, which was written during World War I back in 1917. The act essentially says that American secrets cannot be passed to anyone who is not authorized to receive them. Now, that's almost always in the history of the act been used against spies, but the Justice Department began using the Espionage Act against people who considered themselves to be whistleblowers, people who were exposing secrets because they felt they were uncovering government wrongdoing.
Why do you think you were charged under the Espionage Act? That's pretty rare.
To send a chilling message.
To whom?
To other whistleblowers, to others in the government, not to speak out or speak out. Do not tell truth to power. We'll hammer you.
Back in 2011, we spoke to Thomas Drake, who was also being prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Drake was an executive at the National Security Agency, and he had observed a project at the NSA that was costing American taxpayers more than $1 billion, and the project was essentially a failure. He wanted to blow the whistle on that. He went through a lot of the normal channels. He complained to his bosses at the NSA. He also went to the congressional oversight committees at the NSA, but the government ultimately charged him with violating the Espionage Act and communicating secrets to a reporter. Finally, when it came time to adjudicate the case, those charges were brought down to a misdemeanor charge, but Drake still lost his job at the NSA and now works at an Apple store. Greg Bergerson is another person that we reported on for 60 Minutes. He was charged with espionage, and in his case, the FBI actually had video of a Chinese spy stuffing cash into Bergerson's pocket. Bergerson was a Pentagon employee who knew about U.S. military sales to foreign governments, and the Chinese were literally paying him to betray those secrets to the Chinese government.
I'm very, 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 very reticent to let you have it because it's all classified. And
he was charged with the Espionage Act. He was actually committing espionage. It was on videotape, and his sentence for his betrayal of the country was 6 months shorter than Reality Winner. couple of cases under the Espionage Act that people might be familiar with recently involve Edward Snowden, who had released a great deal of information from the National Security Agency about how the NSA monitored communications around the world, and also Julian Assange, the head of WikiLeaks. Both of those men were indicted under the Espionage Act, but of course Snowden is now in Russia and Assange is in London, and they have not been prosecuted. These cases tend to be quite complicated, and the debate around them is essentially this. There are those who say that government employees who swear an oath to keep the country's secrets must do that in all cases, that conscience doesn't matter. However, there have been many cases over the years, the Pentagon Papers that exposed the lying about Vietnam is one of them, in which a person decided that conscience mattered more than the oath that they took to keep the secrets. When the government is hiding wrongdoing behind classification, they have felt that it was their responsibility to inform the public.
The prosecutors said you did egregious harm to the national security of the United States. Was that your intent?
It was never my intent to hurt anyone or cause any damage.
Your intent was what?
My only intent was that maybe one person could restore the foundation of truth and integrity in a really tumultuous year.